Morning Joe and the Pro, and I look like shit. But we got the champ with us. Right out of the ring, took apart Ric Flair. Stone Cold Steve Austin doesn't hold a candle to him. John Cena bows to this man. Even The Rock wants to be him. Dwayne Bryant, the number one handicapper at WagerTalk last year. A hair, one of these, by the way, a hair better than me, who was number two. But I'll take a back seat to you, Dwayne. Welcome to the show.
Hey, the champ doesn't need hair. Did you notice that?
Let me guess. You have a full head. You just like yourself better bald.
No, I'm not going to lie about that, man. If I let this grow out, it would be an ugly thing. Trust me.
I hear you, but listen, you know what? I'll tell you something. For some reason, half the people on this show are bald. Might be the fact that we're all old. But yeah, I mean, between you and Carmine, there's just always a glare.
Yeah, but did you notice between me and Carmine how much success we have with these plays?
Yeah.
You might want to shave your head. You might take me over.
Hey, I was number two. Carmine was number three.
But you're a buzz cut away from number one is what I'm saying.
Dwayne, I'm happy for you to be number one every year.
Hey, that works for me, man. But I'm telling you, that WagerTalk roster is probably the best roster that I've ever been a part of from top to bottom. You know, the competition there, and it's not even competition. We're all on the same team, but you know, it's such a talented group of handicappers. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, you know why? I mean, Johnny and I spend a lot of time looking for the best guys, and you know, when you look at some of the old school handicappers, there's probably nobody better than Koken, who was right there with me, you, and Carmine, all closing in on 200 units last year. And then we go and we find people. You know, Bobby Liggs, I mean, a legend bookmaker turned handicapper. He never sold a play in his life. And the guy's ridiculous. I mean, his NFL season is probably 65%, and we're in the bloody playoffs. Carmine had never sold a play in his life. He was a close friend of mine. He was betting every single day. And I was like, and he was texting me his bets. And I was like, dude, you got to do this for a living. So we're not, you know, we approached you. We Executive Sports, Uskim, all led by Marco. We're not one of these groups that put together the same old guys that do the same old thing day in and day out. So I do appreciate your sentiment. And it even makes you look better because you kicked all their asses. But Dwayne,
well,
John,
you know, I'm not off to the best start this year, so I got some work to do to defend the title. So.
Well, dude, I'm off to a way worse start than you. So let's not even go there. But Johnny and I are talking about putting together some kind of award cash reward and award for the top three percentage getters at WagerTalk every year. That we're not going to backdate it.
Oh, of course you're not going to backdate it. Come on now.
Well, how much did that belt cost?
I've had this thing a long time, man. I honestly don't remember. Probably a few $100.
Okay, well, you know what? You can bill me for it. I love it, though, Dwayne. I
Ladies
love
and
the
gentlemen,
belt.
you heard him say that. I can bill him for the title, so.
Yeah. No, but Johnny and I are talking about doing something like that. We think it could be pretty cool. And when push comes to shove, Dwayne, you guys should be rewarded for winning. So yeah, we're talking about it, and we'll keep you guys abreast. But thanks for joining us, and you're welcome on the show anytime you want. Nice looking office. I like the mahogany, the deep mahogany behind you.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I take it that's your woman behind you?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Excellent. You look a little younger in that picture.
Well, I was a little younger in that picture.
Funny, huh? Funny. I get so much grief for the profile picture I have at Wager Talk. Oh, on Twitter and on the YouTube comments are like, Prez, you don't look anything like that guy. How old is that picture? 20 years? I'm going to redo that picture at some point. But hey, that picture was my Ashley Madison picture, my match picture, my Plenty of Fish picture. It did me well.
Yeah, but you made all of us update our pictures and look older, so now it makes you look better. So,
So true.
Yeah. I guess it's good to be the king sometimes, huh?
I'm gonna update that picture soon. That I promise. Anyway, brother, let me give out a promo. And then we're gonna get to some free picks. Guys, as Dwayne has said, as I've spoken about, nobody at WagerTalk.com did better over the calendar year 2018. Nobody. If you want to get a month of all his plays, football, basketball, the works, $149. Just use the promo code DB149. Head over to WagerTalk. $149, DB149. Dwayne, what do you got for us in NBA tonight?
I'm looking at Oklahoma City tonight. It's game 509, 510. Last I checked, they were laying 8 to Minnesota. It's a revenge game for the Thunder back on December 23rd. They hosted the Wolves. They were, I believe, a 7-point home favorite. They got beat by a bucket. Minnesota shot above their head from 3-point land in that game. 27, 52% from downtown. I don't see them doing that again. The Thunder, they're number one in the league in defensive efficiency. Minnesota's only 18th. The Thunder are one of the better rebounding teams in the league at fourth. Minnesota's just 22nd. Something else, the Thunder just got beat at home, embarrassed actually. On Sunday, they were a 10-point favorite at home against the Wizards. They got beat by 18 points, so it's a good bounce back spot for them. Since November, they're 5-0 straight up, 4-1 against the number when they are at home. Off a straight up an ATS loss. So, it looks like a good spot for the Thunder. Minnesota, they might be a little flat for this game. They're coming off back-to-back blowout home wins, and they've got 2 more home games coming up after this. So it's kind of that sandwiched road game in the middle. Probably not going to have their best effort tonight. So I'm looking at laying 8 with the Thunder.
He's Dwayne Bryant. I'm the Prez. You're watching Morning Joe and the Pro. Dwayne's got 1 4-star college basketball play up tonight at WagerTalk.com. You can get it for part of that package that we're offering, $149 for a month of Dwayne's plays. Rolling in college, rolling in NBA, probably... Listen, you came to us as what? The NFL totals legend?
No, I started a baseball total system.
Was it baseball totals?
I mean, I had back, this goes back like 9 years, where I had a 20-game football winning streak. So that's my claim to fame, I guess. But, every time I bring that up, Marco brings up his 25.
Yeah, I don't even talk about.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh my, Marco, and that 25-0 run. Ad nauseum. Well, Carmine, right? He was. I think he was on a 13-0, and then he got to 20-1.
Right.
So obviously, I had to listen to Marco every bloody day. Well, he didn't get 25-0. I did. Yeah, Marco. Okay, congratulations. That was like 50 years ago. Okay, brother, let's talk some NFL football. there's some great. I think this is going to be a fun weekend, and I think
agree.
it's going to.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, me too. And look, I think the best game is first. Kansas City, probably the best team in football. Them and New Orleans, certainly the best team in the AFC, but not the hottest team, Dwayne. And we've seen a chink in their armor. They haven't been the same since Kareem Hunt was ousted. They just don't show the same amount of balance. And they're playing the hottest team in football with a quarterback who is lights out right now. And what I love about Andrew Luck, the tapes, the angles they're showing of him on the sideline and in the huddle. I mean, this guy is a born leader. -5, over and under 57. Man, Dwayne, I am struggling with this game. I mean, I think Indy's the play, but I'm scared.
Yeah, I mean, I'm leaning that way too, but one of the things I like to look at in these playoff games is how these teams played against other playoff teams during the regular season. The Colts only played 2 road games against playoff teams in the regular season. They beat Houston by a field goal. They did lose in New England by 2 touchdowns on a Sunday night, but that was early in the season before they really got rolling. They had that 1-5 start. That New England game was one of them. And then, they just rolled after that. And the biggest thing, and, everybody talks about Andrew Luck, and deservedly so, but that defense has just been off the charts. Since week 7, they've got the number 1 defense in the league, allowing 15.5 a game. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, like you said, they haven't been the same. They got off to a hot start. But now as far as getting the money, they're only 2-6-1 against the spread the last 9. One of the things in my handicap of this game that I looked at was I don't like laying points with what I consider sloppy teams. And the Chiefs are dead last in the league with 72 penalty yards a game. Yeah. That bothers me when I'm laying points. So my lean is to the Colts also. It's tough. The Chiefs have looked so good at times this year. But laying 5.5, whatever. One thing I do want to note, though, as far as the total goes, I think this total's at like 57.
Yeah.
Since the 2015 season, those playoffs started, when you've got a total that's higher than 48, the over/under is a perfect 12-0 to the over.
Yeah, I actually spoke a lot about that a few weeks ago on the NFL presidential address with Kelly. How the higher the total, the more chance it actually goes over. And it does work in the opposite direction, too. The lower the total, the more chance it goes under. It's just one of those things where they've always had a ceiling. In hockey, the ceiling is about 6.5. Well, there are games that go to 11. So I love that trend. But speaking of that, Dwayne, 3 of the 4 games are over that number. Dallas and their mighty defense, a 49. Philly and their mighty defense, a 50.5. And New England and LA, the smallest total on the board, the lowest, 47.
Yeah, I mean, New England especially, they were I don't know. I forget what my notes are here. 8-0 straight up, 6-2 against the spread. I believe at home this year, but they went under in 6 of their 8 home games this year. So you think Patriots, you think Brady, you think offense, but they've actually gone under 6 of 8 at home this year. So
yeah, well, and it's funny because if you look back over New England's sort of tenure with Belichick and Brady, the New England of today is similar to the New England of about 6-7 years ago, where they were throwing the ball all the time, but they weren't throwing it far. And it ends up ultimately being just a run play. I mean, if you're going to throw a 5-yard, a 7-yard play into the slot, to Gronk or to Edelman, you're ultimately going to keep the clock running, and it's going to take 2 plays to get a first down. And that's sort of, if you look at the drive charts of New England, I mean, Brady's not bombing the ball. And that's why they're playing to the under. Plus, their defense has turned around, and they do look good on defense. I think the Chargers are great on defense. This number is too high for me. 46.5, 47. I see a 2017 game.
Well, one interesting note here, though, that contradicts that. Since the 2011 season, when the Patriots are in the playoffs and they're playing with rest because they had last week off, they are 7-0 to the over, average 57 points a game total.
Wow.
So, that's something to consider there. This is a game I'm struggling with personally. I mean, I've been all over the place with this game since I started breaking it down.
I like the Chargers and I like the under. I actually think the Chargers could win the Super Bowl. I would not want to play them right now. The team is so well balanced. I mean, Melvin Gordon, one of the best backs in the league. Allen, one of the best wide receivers in the league. Both Williams boys are good wide receivers. They have an okay tight end. One of the greatest of all time. Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Fame quarterback. And come on, I mean, Ingram last week was ridiculous. Bosa hasn't gotten going. They got good linebackers, good front four. This is a tough team to play against. And I think, Dwayne, outside of Gronk and Brady and the lore of New England, a better team than New England.
I agree. I don't like New England to go very far either. Call me crazy, but I can see the Colts taking the whole damn thing this year.
I think they were 33-1 a few weeks ago.
I mean, Luck is an all-world quarterback.
Yeah.
The guy can make plays with his feet. He's he's great passing the football. Like I said, the defense has been second to none over the last 3 months. Marlon Mack in the running game is there to take some heat off of Luck. He rarely gets sacked. It's one of those games one of those things where the Colts just look like a good value play to me to take the whole thing.
I agree 100%. And don't forget, I mean, however good Luck is, and all world is right, that offensive line is I cannot remember an offensive line like this since Aikman's 4 in front. I don't remember the name of those guys. Castillo.
Stepnoski.
Yeah, Stepnoski.
Larry Allen.
Oh, well, he was the greatest of all time. You're talking to a
Cowboys fan here, so I can go all day with this. But
Larry Allen was the greatest of all time. But this guy, Quentin Nelson, could be right there with him, man. I mean, when all's said and done, we've never seen a rookie like this guy. That is the hardest position to play in football. And, Jesus, man, that offensive line is ridiculous. Frank Reich looks like a great coach. I don't disagree, man. I mean, from a value perspective, I think Indy's literally the only choice to take right now. So I love that shout-out. Real quick, one last game, and we'll call it a show. You pick, brother. Rams, Dallas, New Orleans, or Philly? Which one you want to talk about?
Oh, man. Well, I'm a Cowboys fan, so you know what? I don't want to be accused of bias, so I'm going to skip that game. Let's talk Eagles-Saints, although I guess I could be accused of bias there because, being a Cowboys fan, I'm going to be a little biased against the Eagles maybe, but, I'm probably going to surprise some people here and say that, the Eagles getting more than a touchdown doesn't look like a bad play to me. I don't know what it is about this team, but when Nick Foles gets under center, something changes.
Unless you're at the beginning of the season.
What's that?
Unless you're at the start of the season.
Right. But yeah, I mean, Wentz, the second overall pick in a draft, they're basically a 500 team. He goes down, Foles comes in, and it's 2017 all over again. I don't know. It's like these guys have so much confidence in him in that huddle. And it
But
permeates
it's not even
throughout
in
the
the
whole
huddle.
team.
Dwayne, it's not even in the huddle. I mean, we've seen a complete resurgence of their defense. They're putting out nobodies on in the secondary, and they're even playing well. And Doug Peterson's making better play calls. It's affecting the entire team.
Well, that's what I said. I said, it's not just in the huddle; it permeates throughout that whole team.
Right.
They all get lifted when, for some reason, when he comes in the game. He's just got that. I don't know what it is, but And you mentioned Doug Peterson. I mean, he's as a playoff coach, he's 4-0 straight up and against the spread. What more could you ask for? He's an aggressive coach. I like that about him. Take nothing away from Sean Payton. Peyton, with the Saints, he's 5-0 career playoff games at home with New Orleans, but only 2-3 against the number. So they have a habit of getting the win, but not getting the money. So the Eagles +8, they do look like a good play to me. A lot of guys are going to say, well, the Saints buried them 48-7 during the regular season. Wentz was the quarterback in that game. Wentz threw 3 picks in that game. This is a whole new ball game.
Yeah, and Fletcher Cox wasn't in that game, and he's the leader of their defense. The game got away from them very quickly as well. So I agree, Dwayne. I mean, I like Philadelphia here. And look, I bet Philly and San Diego on the money line last week. San Diego. I'm never going to stop doing that. I bet the Chargers and Philly on the money line last week. I'm going to bet the Chargers and Philly on the money line again this week. So I actually think it's going to be very tough for Kamara and Ingram to put up a whole ton of yards on that Philly D. And I think it's ultimately going to come down to Drew Brees, which is great and all. But, a pick here, a turnover there. I think Philly's going to be a tough out this week.
I agree. Like I said, getting more than a touchdown looks good to me. I mean, with me and guys that follow me know that I like to take the points with the better defense. And one thing I look at when I look at defenses is third down conversion percentage. The Eagles are 5th in the league in third down conversion percentage allowed. The Saints are 24th. That's a huge, huge edge for that Philly defense. So, I definitely at this point anyway like the Eagles at plus more than a touchdown.
Great stuff, Dwayne. We loved having you on. If you want to come on next week, just let me know, dude. I just don't like doing it at this time because I go to sleep so late, and you made me wake up.
Yeah, well, man. You want to have the champ on your show, you got to work it around my schedule, brother.
Done. He's Dwayne Bryant. I'm the Prez. It's Morning Joe and the Pro. Make sure to head over to WagerTalk.com and get a month of Dwayne for $149. DB149. You're a good man, dude. I love the belt. I love the glasses. I will dethrone you this year.
Hey, just make sure Koken doesn't sue me for infringement with the shades here. So.
Yeah, well, you know why Dave wears them, right?
I do not.
We'll talk offline, but it's a medical thing.
All right.
Yeah, he has to wear them. But I love Dave. Dave is the best, dude. He is so fun to talk to, and I mean the guy just knows everything. One day we should do a show, me and him, where I just ask him questions like about his career and the stories he must be able to tell. I mean, imagine him and Feist as young guys getting into this game. I mean, back then it was such a wild west, and I love Jim too. I mean, I don't know if you've ever had a chance to meet Jim, but I mean, like one of the warmest, kindest guys you'll ever meet in your life. But those two must have got up to so much no good 40 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in Vegas, I didn't get to meet Dave. I hope.
Oh, I lost you.
I'm sure he's got a ton of good stories to tell.
Oh, yeah, dude, he does. Same with Chris at Vegas Synergy. Another Chris and Frank. Frank is one of the most legendary characters you'll ever meet in your life. That's for another day. Take care of yourself, brother, and kill it tonight and this week.
All right, you too. Good luck.
Ciao, buddy.